everybody. This is a special edition. I'm super excited to be here today. This is the day. My book is launching now. What an incredible process, y'all. I got to tell you, this is from beginning to end has been quite remarkable. That I'm here on this day. I was meditating last night. Sorry, I was derailed a little. Meditating last night on this, and the thought occurred to me as I was sitting there, and it just past midnight. I was full of energy, of course, and the thought was, I am a published author. Holy cow. Did not see that coming. Where's my color here? Let me adjust my lighting. My color's a little weird. Wow. What an amazing journey. What an amazing experience. Continues to be. My glasses, I can't see much. But anyway, here we are. Thank you for being here. Fear is a Choice. Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love is live on Amazon and IndieBound and Kindle and ready to be shipped to you. For those who have pre-ordered, for those of you out there who have ordered the book already, I can't even begin to thank you enough for that support, for that love, for that belief in this work. Ultimately, that's for me what this is about, is this work. We're going to talk in a little while about the evolution. How did this thing come to be? Because when you read in the book, you'll find that this is called The Reluctant Author because it was not something I actually considered or thought about. So bear with me here just a sec. Where are we at? First, I think I want to start with thank yous. I want to start with saying thank you from top to bottom. The first and foremost, I have to thank my spouse and my partner and my husband, Michael, who has unfailingly showed up for me, who has unfailingly shown me unconditional support and allowed me full breath and space to create this, to get to be as deeply involved as I needed to be. And just to say thank you. Thank you, and I love you, and I appreciate you for everything, and giving me the space and the support to just launch this in an amazing way. And this was just not the book, it's been the show, it's been everything. And 11 years later, life gets better and better every day. I love you and thank you. The next two people I'd like to share this thanks with and my deep love and appreciation. The first is to my dear friend Tamar. Tamar was with me at the beginning when this book started flooding through me, and as I was writing chapters and sending them off, she dove in and did deep edits and helped me to pull together a manuscript that brought something into the world that I never anticipated. But her tremendous love and support and unerring showing up for this process to support me and love me and to get this work out, and her belief in the work. And again, I come back to that again and again, the work. This book is really about the message. It's about fear is a choice. It's about changing your relationship with fear. Tamar, I love you to the moon and back. Thank you for all of your love and support and continuous love and support. The next person I'd like to say hi and thank you to is Moshe Engelberg, the author of The Amari Wave. Moshe and I have spent years together, and he has been an incredible source of support, an incredible source of inspiration, an incredible source of just love and appreciation and guidance and continual encouragement to get to this point, that I'm doing a show, that I have a book, all the things that he and I talked about sitting on a couch in my center in San Diego years ago. Full circle, here we are. Oh my gosh. Next, I want to just say to Aaron Himes, the man who owns this amazing network that I'm on, E360 TV, e360tv.com. Check it out, guys. Amazing support. Thank you, Aaron, for believing in me, for believing in the show, for your support of this launch, for providing me a space to do this format in our new situation, that I get to reach out to all the people that I love and all that love me and reaching out into the world. And I have you to thank for the ability to do that and for the incredible foundation that this provides for me. Aaron, thank you. I also want to say thank you to one of your producers here, Lauren Michaels Harris. That wonderful commercial you just saw, and the commercial the longer commercial, which I'll show you shortly, the intro to my show, Adventures in Truth Livecast, were all created by Lauren, and extraordinary, creative, wonderful, tapped in ability to reach into what essence is of what we're providing, what we're showing, what we're doing. And he did a magical job and continues to with the bumpers and things around my show. I just, it took it to a whole new level, Lauren. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Creating a book is an amazing process. I never knew what it was. And then I met, through Moshe, actually, I met Stacey Aronson with The Book Doctor Is In. And Stacey has been pivotal to taking this work, this manuscript that Tamar helped me with in putting together a book, and turned it into, in my viewpoint, a masterpiece. She took a piece of art and enhanced it in a way that I don't know that I could have ever come to. But using my voice, using everything she understood about the message, and staying clear and true to the message to the very end. Even when I wanted to throw a whole bunch of crap in about me later at the end, and she said, it's really not about you, which is that not awesome? And it was the most loving, wonderful thing she could have said. To Dennis Langlays, for those of you who don't know Dennis and I have also known each other for years. Dennis has an amazing program called Ranking Mastery, and he's in San Diego. But he has been an amazing part of my journey when I did my first podcast with him called Made in America years ago. And over the years, he has been unflailingly supportive of my work and who I am and what I present in the world. And he hosts my website, adventuresintruth.com, and has just been a tremendous ally and support to me. And I couldn't be here without that support. And I thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Thank you. And also to Shannon Fox at Minute Marketing. Shannon was also someone recommended to me, and her group has been fantastic in helping to really bring together the whole picture of Fear is a Choice, as far as the message, as far as what I'm trying to say and the things I want to get out in the world, and marrying that with beautiful imagery and thoughts, and just remarkable, remarkable stuff that leads me to this moment. And let me check messages, because I have messages here, and I want to make sure I'm responding to people. Kathleen, thank you. Love you too. Dennis, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your interest. I was going to have a couple guests on, and I may have to do some work while we're talking, because I forgot to send them the the invite link. Whoops. So I'm going to do that while I'm talking, but bear with me here. Just for a second, because there's so many things that I want to say about being in this moment. This moment has been, and when I say this moment, I mean the evolution of this process, this moment, this. Edna! Oh my God, Edna, I love you. This is your Irving. He's here. Guys, this is my very dearest friend, Sue Shelley Barrow, stopping by to say hi. She is my dearest friend growing up. She lived across the cornfield. We share the same birthday. She is my Edna, and I am her Irving from years and years and years. But anyway, so let's go back to being in the now. Sorry. So the thing that's so incredible is being here right now. And you talk to Michael, you talk to people around me. This has been a completely blessed process. This has been, and I don't mean that in a weird way, I mean just for me to get to be here now. And it's been really beautiful, because when you know, when you know fear is a choice, the moments of now are so amazing and so profound and so beautiful and so awesome. I get to be here right now, talking with you, sharing with you, thanking you, and filling this moment so completely and so fully and so amazingly, to just be sitting here sharing my appreciation, to be sitting here here it comes again. Um, to feel the love, guys, when you know fear is a choice, the amount of love you can experience is breathtaking. Breathtaking. I don't want to get too, whew. Bear with me here just a sec, collect myself. The thank yous are really probably never ending, but I want to say another round of thank yous to those who have agreed to take on a huge project of doing the reading during the pre-order period, of reading my book and reviewing my book and helping me to set the foundation for its success. Fiona in New Zealand, and Deb Rock Evans, who has been on the show, is also in the process with her husband Xander, and Tamar, of course, and Moshe, who's on the cover. Margaret in Ireland, who's working on it, and Armand and in Florida. Thank you, Jerry up in Canada and British Columbia, and Tally over there, and I think in Wisconsin and Hamilton, back east, and Sandra down in Texas. You guys, I can't tell you again how much I love and appreciate you, and thank you for your support, and thank you for your amazing reviews and support in getting the book out. So let's take a step back. I feel like I'm jumping around a little. I know that's in part my excitement. Thank you, Monica, for your wonderful love, and again to my husband sending me a little note. Love you too. So what else are we going to do today? So the welcome and the thanks. We've gotten through the welcome, and we've gotten through the thanks and the appreciation. I want to take a minute to share a review that I received, just because, why not, right? So let me tell you, just in a synopsis, if you're not familiar with my book at all yet, Fear is a Choice: Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love is a book that I believe will change your life. And why I say that is, when you change your relationship with fear, it changes everything in your experience. It changes you. It's taking you from, when you release fear, it takes you from that fear-based experience or consciousness to an opportunity-based experience or consciousness. And so what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that the underlying energies that support who you are not held in place by fear. Because what that does is it limits your perspective and it limits your potential, because everything is heavy, everything is lighter, it's heavier. The vibration of fear is dense. I want you to feel the lightness and the joy. And the transition from the fear-based to the opportunity-based is an ability to open to all possibility that's available to you. So you're not in any way limiting yourself. You're not in any way resisting your process. You're simply being a part of your own evolution and an active participant in the co-creation of your life. That's a lot of words, but in the end, it's all about releasing the attachment to fear, because we're inundated, guys, every single day. Not as a conspiracy theory, not as a who's out there being bad and wrong. This is just the reality of what we experience, whether it's the media, whether it's schools, or wherever we are. And we're in the middle of this crazy pandemic and this all the stuff that's going on. It's all stimulating and triggering the fear. It's all stimulating and triggering also the survival mechanism, which is, again, helping to connect to more fear. Releasing that connection, releasing that stimulation will allow you to increase your vibration, raise that energy level, so that you are operating above that consciousness. So instead of operating at this energy, you're operating at this energy. And when you're here, you have more potential available to you, more opportunity available to you. So in essence, we go through the evolution of fear in the human experience at a personal level, and how it's ingested, and realizing that it's not inherent to our experience, meaning we don't come in afraid. We learn how to be afraid. We learn fear. And then over time, how that integrates into our life experience and becomes part of the subconscious mechanism that we don't think about it, but it's still setting and anchoring the foundation of our experience. So then we go through lots of great examples and ways of, how do I disengage from that consciousness of fear? How do I untether myself from that foundation and create and stand in a new foundation? And the beautiful thing to that answer is, you don't have to change who you are, because who you are got you to this moment. So you're just simply changing your perspective, you're changing your vibration, and in doing so, you release yourself and set yourself free. What an amazing experience. Oh, taking a deep breath. Hi, Leanne. Thank you for being here. I love you. Hi in San Diego. I hope things are great there. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tamar and Moshe are planning to stop by when they have time. I wanted to say hi, guys. I sent you a link in your email so that you can join me when you're available. So back to review. So let's start. The first review I want to present to you is by my friend Jerry DiStefano Weber. She's a PhD up in the British Columbia, Canada area, Vancouver, I think. And here's what she had to say about fear as a choice. How can a 200-page book even begin to tackle this concept of fear as a choice? You're thinking another superficial self-help book, probably padded with all the current Oprah-esque catchphrases. You'll have the impulse to pass it by. Don't. Jim Case, through the telling of his everyman story, has managed to deconstruct just about every element that makes up the dynamic of fear. From the DNA encoding at the moment of conception through the social, mass cultural, and religious bombardment of fear-driven messages designed to separate us from our true nature. This is a challenging treatise that hopefully will upend the way you choose to view your life. Not just a deconstruction of a long-held concept, but a clear and concise roadmap towards the liberation from the liberating impacts that fear creates. This is a truly empowering idea. We choose, not just an idea, but an authentic and genuine resonance that sounds the way beyond fear, into a very different, transformed, and liberated life. Jim's writing style is engaging and straightforward, funny and vulnerable, and so easy to read. Jim leads the reader through a cleverly woven tapestry of ideas and thoughts, using science, philosophy, spirituality, psychology. This is a treatise that has an appeal to every man and every woman who is ready to let fear disappear from their lives. Another moment. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. It's an extraordinary experience, guys, talking about being present, talking about all the things that I share on the show and that I live my life through, to reach out to people that I know and that I love and that are in my life, and to ask them to do something. To me, this is big, to ask them to read a book and give their experience of that book when we aren't necessarily in our everyday lives together. And to receive feedback like this and the other reviews that I'll share with you is breathtaking and overwhelming, because it's all validation. The review just says the mission, the desire that I had when it started was this impact, was that you could pick up my book and you could have your life change. You can change your life because of this. Hi, Tamar. Thank you. Check your email. I see you. I see you. Michelle, I love you. I miss you. I hope you're well. Thank you for stopping by. And Jackie, how are you? Good to see you. Love you. So let's talk a little bit about the backstory, okay? I have to share the backstory because I don't really get into it much in the book. I talk about it in the introduction, which I'll read through in a little while here, but the evolution of this book. So I had a center in San Diego for about 6 years, and it was called Awaken Higher Brain Living Center, and I was doing my work there and working with hundreds of clients, and I was regularly getting feedback from my clients that, hey, there's when we're doing sessions, the things that you share with us, the reconfiguring of how we think and how we feel, this is extraordinary stuff. You really should write a book. And I'm like, yeah. That expression is perfectly the right-on expression. Yeah, I want to write a book. And hi, Tamar, I see you. I'll be with you in just a second. So here I am. This is going on for years, and I smile and I'm gracious and I appreciate the love and I appreciate that people think that I have something of value to say. I love my center. I love the people that I work with. It's just and it's enough. It fills me. But I find that over time, and I finally said this to Moshe one day, he said, Jim, really, you really should write this stuff down. And I said, you know what? Here's what I'll say about this. I have no desire to write a book. I don't know what I'd write a book about at this point in my life. But what I do know is I'm willing to be inspired, always willing to be inspired. And if I'm inspired to it, then yay, then I'll follow that inspiration. Flash forward a couple years, and I'm driving home with Michael on a trip that we went into Arizona. And as we're driving, I'm just driving down the road, and all of a sudden, there it is. Boom, book. Name of the book, looking at the pages in my mind as I'm driving. This is the craziest thing I've ever experienced, I have to tell you, in this context. I guess that's called a download of some sort. But this went on for 15, 20 minutes, just page after page after page after page. And the book title was flashing in my face and just nonstop. And I thought, oh. And I turned to Michael and I'm like, you're kind of not going to believe what's going on here, but I think I'm going to write a book. And he kind of looked at me like he does sometimes and was like, okay. And so I come home thinking, wow, this happened. How cool is this? I'm going to write this book. So we get back from the trip and I sit down in front of the computer and I'm ready to go, and nothing went on for months. Nothing. And I thought, how bizarre is this? You have this big thing. And I was awake. I was driving a car, for crying out loud. I'm like, what the hell? I don't get it. Why would this dump into my brain and then I can't get it out, And I went on a trip, a separate trip later on, just from San Diego down to Mexico to visit a very dear friend who has passed probably 2 years ago now, Gilbert. And Gilbert was an author who had written a massive book, had tons of experience. So I went and shared with him the whole experience. And we were sitting at breakfast and I was telling him about this inspiration. And he just looked at me and said, Jim, guess what? Now you get to do the work. And I sat back in my chair and I'm like, what? I get to do the work. And the funny thing about that sentence, he literally used those words. And the funny thing about that sentence is that is the same sentence I used with my clients and use with my clients every single day in my center, multiple times a day. When my clients would say if they were feeling confused or frustrated, and I'd say, did you do your work? And they're like, oh, yeah, no, I didn't. I'm like, just do the work. It'll get you where you need to go. So here I am sitting across from my dearest friends who's giving me my advice, do the work. And in that moment, I realized, holy crap, I've never been an author. I've never written a book. What do I know about this? Maybe I need to change from where is it, give it to me, to let me allow this to unfold. Let me allow this to kind of come through me. Let me create space for this thing to happen. Came back from the trip. The next morning, I woke up with a thought in my head. And the thought was, I want to take you on a journey. And that journey is what brought me here today. That journey, when I sat in front of the typewriter with that sentence that was loaded with all of this potential, 20 pages came out. And the next day, 30 pages came out. And it went on like that for weeks. And Tamar, who I'm going to bring into the show this very moment, if she's ready for me, I think she's driving. Hi, Tamar, how are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm not driving. I'm a passenger.
Oh, you're a passenger. Well, you're in the car. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was the next person, I think, in my list when I wrote that first chapter, The Journey, and I sent it to her and said, I think I'm writing a book. And how extraordinary. Here we are. And so many thanks to you. I don't know if you heard me earlier gushing about what an amazing human being you are and how much I love you. And Tamar, here we are. It's here. This magical moment.
I remember specifically walking around the parking lot of the orthodontist while my daughters were getting their braces adjusted or whatever, and talking to you about the book. I remember specifically multiple times doing that, connecting with you and talking with you about the book and editing and where it needed more and where it, couldn't understand and fix this. And I mean, it really was giving birth. It was a multi-year process of putting together every single element to make sure that people understood clearly not only what is going on and how we've been conditioned, but what we need to do to uncondition that.
Yeah.
And take back the power that we were given from the beginning and it was taken from us.
Fantastic. And truly, I'd forgotten too that even from the time that we were going through, I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but Stacy, with the book doctors and who turned this book into what it is as far as the structure, regularly referenced your edit notes that would show up as we were doing each of the chapters, because she so loved the question. She would say, yeah, do you want to see Tamar asked this question? I need more information of what she asked for over here. So there was this tremendous support system, just layer upon layer upon layer of this magicalness. But it was, the book sat for close to 2 years after we finished. I started to incorporate it into my program in the Science of Transformation, which I thought, finally, I found a place for this thing, because just like at the beginning when I was like, I just, what happened? Why is this not coming through? Then I got done and went, okay, what's next? And then nothing for a little while. And then I started to incorporate it in the program and saw the impact it was having and said, this is awesome. I love that I can do this with the book, thinking, I didn't really think I was writing a workbook, but okay, I'm good with this because the message is still getting out there. And then again, now through Moshe, who I'm going to bring on with us. Moshe's hanging out in the green room. And Tamar and Moshe, have you guys ever actually met each other? I don't think. Have you?
Never. Yeah.
Tamar, meet Moshe. Moshe, meet Tamar. My two favorite people. Yay!
Good to see you, Tamar.
Hi. Well, Jim, let me just say this.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard about how a bamboo tree grows. The bamboo seed is in the ground, if I'm getting this correct, and it can be years that the roots grow down. And then all of a sudden, when the roots are at the right place, the tree stem, the trunk, the stalk, whoop, it goes up. Like overnight, it's 6 feet tall. But that's because years prior, it's been preparing in the ground. And so that's what's happened with you. It had to ferment. It had to deepen its roots. It had to get all of the stuff it needed. Now, boom, it can grow.
Incredibly. And that's such a beautiful analogy, because that's really what it feels like. But at the same time, I'm not, I don't find it necessarily overwhelming. It's a lot. But just as I was saying at the beginning, by being present here and now, I can stay connected to this moment and the next moment and the next moment, and enjoy and embrace them and juice them, and just, but that's, I'm going to hashtag fear is a choice. When fear is a choice, you don't go there anymore.
Well, but if you're a ship, if you're floating in the ocean and you're trying really hard to stay in one place, the waves are going to battle you.
Yeah.
If you let go and float, you go with the waves.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing.
Yes. I love it. Hi, Moshe. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
And Moshe, as I said earlier, he's the author of the Amari Wave, but more than that, he's my friend and an amazing human being that I have the good fortune of sharing time on this planet with. And I'm grateful for that. And thank you for being here. His support. This is the guy I was telling you about earlier who would harass me every day in our session saying, you should record this. You should write this down. Why aren't you recording this? Why aren't you writing this down? I'm saying, because it's for you. This is for your moment.
Well, it also took you a while to believe there was significant value in what you had to say for other people.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Moshe, he doesn't understand his worth.
Let's not go there. That's another time, another question. But I think that's changed dramatically. But
yes,
it has been an evolution. Of stepping into and continuing to step into because that to me is really every day what it is. It isn't about am I afraid or not afraid. It's what am I inspired to today? Where do I step? What direction do I step? And I lean into that. And lean into. So, but these two people have been the anchors of helping me do that, because any time that I've needed in this process, when I pick up a phone and say, "Can I have 5 minutes, please? I think I'm on meltdown mode." I could talk to them and just share myself, share what was going on, and know that by the end of that conversation, I was going to be right again, because all I had to do was take this and put it out here so I could see it and turn it around and look at it differently. And that's what these beautiful people helped me to do. I could take it out of here, put it here, and go, see, it's not all that. It's not a thing. It's just this.
Yes. And I remember when you reached a point where the book, I guess the best words I have, the book came out of you, the first draft.
Yeah.
And you wrote it very quickly, as I remember.
Yeah, it seemed like a chapter a day for a while. I'd wake up,
fast.
I would wake up with a thought. I'd wake up with an idea, and that idea would translate immediately into 25 pages of writing or 10 pages of writing or whatever. But that became a really powerful. Once I got to that thing with Gilbert where I realized that I never done this before and I needed to just be open. I just needed to allow it to unfold. Oh my gosh, it unfolded and continues. I mean, throughout this process, Moshe and I have talked, I know Tamar and I have talked, and other about the idea of the treadmill and how abhorrent that idea. What I call the treadmill is that this is the way that you do things. This is the way it gets done. And because I feel into my experience so much, a lot of that doesn't feel good to me. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't want to traipse up that path again. I want to forge the path that this work has forged through me. And so walking that has been, with the support of people like you, have been phenomenal, because I've gotten to enjoy every part of it, where I don't think I've been anywhere in this process that I was beating my head against the wall in a way that was like frustrated or angry or, why isn't this happening? It's happening every day. It was happening every day. It was evolving, and all I had to do was show up and step up to it. And that's really the message of the book, guys. Continually, consistently, when #fear is a choice, you step up every day. You step up and say, here I am. I'm ready. What am I ready for? Let's be inspired. Let's step into today. This is what shows up. How does this feel? This lifts me. I'm all in. Go, go, go. Doesn't feel good? I'm gonna hold off a minute because I'm not quite sure what I don't know yet. I'm gonna step back and wait on this one. But that's what releasing that fear, understanding it's a choice, is that you get to choose always. Anything, guys, that you want to share as far as your experience of the book? I know you both have touched it and held it, and well, you haven't held it yet. Actually, that's not true. I have to send it to you to get it. But
the only thing I could say is, given the current state of our world, not just our country, I think this book is coming out at a most critical time for people to understand their lifestyle choices and their behaviors, their thought patterns, and how they can live a better, happier, more fulfilling life by stepping away from the patterns of fear that are instilled in us, are bombarding us on a regular basis. So I think it couldn't come at a better time.
Thank you. Me too. I always love timing. Sorry, Moshe, go ahead.
Yeah, I would add to that there's things you wrote that clearly came through you, and some of them I remember reading the version that's just coming out today, and I would just stop and stare and have these, what I call it, these holy shit moments of. So that's how it works.
I never thought about
and
that.
what you're saying is your version of what I've been reading for years in other books, like the book we both read, The Impersonal Life, a book I'm reading now called Conversations with God. So there's this timeless wisdom that you encapsulate and put together in a sensible way. It's like no BS, tell your story, and make it come alive for people. And it can be so helpful. If people get this one thing, that fear is a choice, that can be life-changing. So that's your gift.
Thank you. Rochelle out there, I see you. Thank you for stopping by. Hi. Thank you for saying hi. Tamar, thank you. Moshe, thank you. I'm going to run a commercial here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for being a part of my book vlogs. Talk to you soon. Love you too.
Bye.
We'll talk very soon. Bye-bye. All right, we're going to show you the commercial from Lauren Michaels Harris. We love it. Thank you guys. Be right back. Thank you very much, Lauren. Beautiful commercial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it has a tremendous impact. Every time I see it, I dance, I bounce. I'm so thrilled by it. I love, love, love it. Going to share another review here with you in just a second. But again, wanted to take an opportunity to say thank you and to ask if you don't mind. Maybe you're not going to buy the book, or maybe you're passing through. I would love and so appreciate if you would share this live. Share this out to the world. Let people know about the book. This is our new normal. There may be a book tour in the future, but right now this is the tour. And you can help me with that tour by sharing this live, letting people know about the book, letting them share this joy and excitement, and to find out about this incredible book. English, sharing. Thank you so much for your energy and time. Thank you for assisting me with this. And please share this live. I appreciate you. So in my next piece here, I'm going to share another review from Fiona Bouchette from New Zealand. She says, ever wonder why some people are terrified of mice? Is it really a necessary protective instinct to fear a cute furry being 1/100th of your size? Fear as a choice explains the step-by-step process of how we learn to fear. That in fact, fear is not strictly an instinctive response, but it is taught to us by our parents, our peers, and society at large. This means we can unlearn it. This book is for anyone whose fear of whatever has come insidiously to dominate your choices and behaviors in life. Fear as a choice integrates the physical and spiritual aspects of the human experience in a practical, everyday way that anyone can appreciate, whether a newcomer to spiritual concepts or not. The author is very qualified to speak on the subject, choosing to embark on a journey of transforming every aspect of his life when he began to recognize how his learned fears were the root of his physical and emotional pain and causing him to be stuck in a life that simply did not sit right. The teachings of most special significance to me in this book was the amazing tools we all have to continuous access to, which we can learn to use quite easily. No batteries or accessories required. The author explains beautifully that by following the ease, no matter how loudly or fearfully the mind protests, this pathway is the road to being who you really are, taking you from a place of retreat, defeat, and misguided action to a place of courage and purpose. Every time you honor this system, you clarify, your clarity will become stronger, your stress levels will reduce dramatically, and you will arrive at a better, more effective answers, solutions, and abilities with greater ease and tranquility. When you come into alignment, life becomes about ease and flow, not struggle. Even better, once you're in alignment, you're no longer able to be manipulated by or with fear. Fiona, thank you so much for that amazing review. Thank you, Tamar and Moshe, for being on to talk about your experience and share some time with me. I hope that you take the time to avail yourself of the work. That's really what this is about. Fear as a choice is an energetic response to the changes that we need in this time. Without getting terribly too philosophical, but I kind of have to in a way, the challenges that we are confronted with in our world right now, the challenges that we are dealing with from all directions, are not problems that are going to get solved in the current state of mind in which we live. They are not problems that are going to change in the current state of fear in which we live. What must change is our relationship to fear. What must change is our response to fear. What must change is our attachment to fear. The problems that we have now must be solved through inspiration. They have to be solved from a different place. My friends Armand and Costa, recently channeling Wiola, were talking about the answer and the question, and the energy of the question and the energy of the answer, which I love that dance. I love that conversation. This is very much the same. We are all coming together in this way to create, to stimulate as many directions as possible for all of us out there to understand the importance of seeking the answer and getting away from the question. We already know that we've asked the question for hundreds of years. We're done. It's done. Not that there aren't new questions, but we want to find solutions and be in a new space of desire. And that new space of desire can be one of non-fear, can be one of opportunity. Let's tap into our collective opportunity by surrendering this relationship with fear in the current state. Untether ourselves from that foundation which does not serve. It may have served to now. Everything we do serves us to get us where we need to go. Sometimes it's the long road, sometimes it's the short road. But this process of our being in this world at this time, in this experience, we've all come together collectively in some form or another to create shift and change. My mission, as it were, my directive, whatever you want to call it, from my soul, from my God, from my experience, is this message: fear is a choice. Change your vibration, change the foundation from which you operate. Raise that foundation, raise that to a higher place. It doesn't matter how you get there. I have plenty of tools to help you shift state. There are plenty of tools in the world to help you shift state. Locate them, work with them, build your daily practice, build your life around that experience, and allow yourself to be inspired. I never in my life would have thought I'd be here now talking about this, sharing this tremendous potential that can really truly impact a change in the world, that can really truly bring about a shift in consciousness on this planet unlike we've ever seen. Because we've only ever seen in the larger sense how fear dominates the world. And through very specific individual points of light over the course of centuries, we have been given the ability to see there's alternatives. And now in 2020, this guy from Pennsylvania, who grew up in Pennsylvania, lived in New York, lived in Arizona, lived in San Diego, now lives in Colorado, was married to a woman, is now married to a man. This guy gets to write a book. This guy gets to share a message about changing the construct under which we live. And it ain't about this guy. I just get to be a vehicle. And just by being the vehicle, holy crap, what an experience. But to get to share the work, to get to share the message, to get to say, hey, there are alternatives. There are ways to do this that are so much more satisfying than how we've been doing it. I encourage you, I encourage you, check it out. Fear is a Choice, Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love. So many powerful things that you can do to change the world. You have to start by changing the foundation of your vibration. Excuse me, changing your relationship with fear. We no longer need, or in many cases, for those, many of us want that any longer. We don't want to live that world. I'm not living in that world. It doesn't mean that fear isn't out there. It doesn't mean that fear isn't still permeating the planet. What it means is you don't have to engage it. What it means is that it is something that it exists in the field of your awareness, and you can choose to attend to it or not. You can choose to engage it or not. You have that power. To close this process for today, if y'all don't mind, I would like to read the introduction to you, just to share with you what I do. Okay. I don't think I brought the right copy in. Yes. So I'm going to share this with you. Bear with me while I grab a copy. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So I'm going to just take a moment and read through some of the introduction with you, just to give you a taste of what this book is going to be. This is a note to my readers. And this was really about wanting to kind of be very frank about my experience of writing this book as much as I could. I want to be frank with you right from the start so you will know what this book is and what it is not. First, you should know that previous to this experience, I had no design, idea, passion, inclination, or calling to write a book. Not the makings of the quintessential author bio, I know. But the universe does work in mysterious ways. Excuse me. For years, I regularly received feedback from my clients that I should write a book. I think I shared some of this. Some actually encouraged me to record our sessions so they could be transcribed. I was touched by the thoughtful expressions, but my response remained the same. I feel no inspiration to write a book. I don't know what I would write a book about. And even if the idea of it, and even the idea of it is not very appealing to me. I would qualify my response by adding that if I were to be inspired to do it, I would simply follow my inspiration when the time was right. And then that time came, not in an epiphany or a sudden irrefutable urge to become an author, but with an inner knowing that something greater was at work. Why me, I wondered? There must be so many more qualified people to write a book like this. People who sit across from Oprah on episodes of Super Soul Sunday, or who are otherwise known as experts. But as the universe does when a simple nudge or whisper doesn't motivate us to move toward a life purpose it has in store for us, it began to speak louder to me. Immediately as I was overwhelmed, and you see this book I had never imagined myself writing began knocking on my soul's door like a persistent visitor. Over the course of several months, all the knowledge, experience, encounters, and inspiration I had accumulated over more than 2 decades began to flood through me in a series of downloads. I quickly realized that nothing in my backstory had been for naught. Everything had crossed my path for a reason, just like those guests on Super Soul Sunday and those experts whose books I had read and whose seminars I had attended. I was experiencing a magnificent awakening of purpose, uncovering an as yet undiscovered gift that was opening a new path for me to help others see something significant from a new perspective. Which brings me to what this book is not. As I've already said, this book was delivered to me in a series of downloads. These stemmed from the numerous books I've read, the many workshops I've attended, the abundance of conversations I've had with sage and enlightened people, and countless teachers from whom I'd absorbed wisdom. Yes, I had professional editorial partners refuse those downloads. Yes, I had professional editorial partners refine those downloads into the book you now hold in your hands. But I did not set out to write an academically oriented book or even a nonfiction book in the traditional sense. Hence, you won't find footnotes and endnotes or be stumbling over a myriad of citations. And this is not a sly way of saying that the content within these pages isn't authoritative or that the sources of it aren't sound. Quite the contrary. It is merely to prepare you for the intentionally structured yet free-flowing reading experience I believe this book was meant to be, in the way it was presented to me. If this sounds a bit kind of woo-woo for you, I offer no apology. We must all be true to ourselves in any endeavor, and I believe in my heart that I have been true to the message of this book and the power to spark new ways of thinking about and operating in this glorious gift called life. For the particulars of my sources of influence, I give ample appreciation for my inspiration in the acknowledgement section of the book, along with the recommended reading list that expands upon, supports, and complements what you'll find in these pages. The overall experience of what you may gain from it, I leave completely up to you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. I can't say thank you enough. Please share this live everywhere and anywhere. I really want to get the message out to as many people as possible. I want to share this with as many people as possible. Amazon, IndieBound, it's now Kindle. There are so many options for how you can enjoy this and how you can allow this transformation to begin to unfold in your own experience. Because what I know is when you change your relationship with fear, you change everything. Thank you for being a part of this amazing book launch experience. Again, thank you to Aaron Himes and E360 TV for supporting this. And please feel my appreciation, my love, and my gratitude to all of you for being a part of my journey. And I look forward to being a part of yours. Have an amazing, amazing day, guys.